The Kennedys are considered like American royalty, but what if I told you one of them married into royalty? She's the forgotten about one tonight on American Loser.
Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
On the edge they take the throne, built on bones of those unknown. Counted first, never last, still erased from the past. I am an American loser. No one remembers my name. No legacy and no future. One step behind in the game.
All right, what is going on here, folks? Welcome back to another episode of American Loser. It is the podcast that puts the spotlight firmly on second place. We're telling you weird, messed up stories from American history that your teacher either wanted to and never got around to, or just maybe also didn't know about. We do a lot of deep dives here. I'm KP Burke. It's at KP Burke Sucks over on Instagram. You guys know the deal with that. Keep supporting the show. It's use promo code LOSER and get $1 off a month. And real quick, we'll just say hi to the guys over in the booth here. Paco, one of a kind, hanging out with us today. Paco, how you feeling? You feel good? You feel healthy?
I'm feeling all right.
He sure is, buddy. And he had a very tantalizing conversation with my guest that I'm going to get to in a second here. But Paco was just leading heavy up front. Shout out real quick, Dom, Gas Digital Employee of the Month. And apparently, just a handsome man about town.
Yeah, new year, new me.
New year, new. You are the only one that's actually following through on that, buddy. Everyone else has already gone back to their nonsense here. I only get to be a part of this nonsense because my fairy godmother in comedy is here with me today, folks. I love you like a sister to me. You know that. You're doing me a favor by slumming it with me here on this show.
No, I love you.
Why? I do believe that part.
I hate looking at myself on camera, but I love you.
The legendary Lynne Koplitz here with me tonight. So
can we pull the camera back to like Utah?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can find ways around it. First of all, you look fine. So
thank you.
Get out of your own head on that one.
How many times have you opened for me? And half of the ride to where we were going was just me asking you if I looked okay.
You putting on mascara while I drive with my kneecaps holding your dog down I-95. We bonded through trauma, Lynn. That's
or eating some little English muffin pizza I brought you.
Yeah, you do. By the way, that's another one. If I don't want to give him, I'm not trying to get rid of my job. I enjoy getting to work with you as much as I do on the road. And you've got me into a bunch of clubs and stuff like that. So really, it's a very short list of anybody I could argue has done more for me in comedy than you.
Well, you're talented. I mean, it's not like I just did you favors. You're hilarious and
I appreciate
sweet
that.
and not someone that I would rather not spend 2 hours in a car with.
You got to pick your. There's some people that are just a good hang, and then. You get to the gig and you're like, all right, well, they kind of stink, but at least they're fun to hang with.
But the booker will call you and be like, I got you a ride. It's like, he's not funny. He's the worst guy in the world, but he's got a car. And you're like, all right. And then you're just sitting with this person you wouldn't talk to in a bar for 5 minutes. And you got 3 hours in the car with him.
I once had to, not everyone's as kind in the vehicle as you are. I've gotten yelled at a lot or made fun of for my car. And then, you always bring snacks, which is very nice. So there's always
an old
snacks.
Lady. She always brings snacks.
Well, yeah, there's that. Then often the dog travels with us too.
We've had travels.
AC. We did. The AC was a crazy one because I was just diving into the history stuff. And
isn't that when she threw up?
She did. So yes, Lynn's dog Gertie did defecate and vomit inside Howie Mandel's comedy club in Atlantic City.
She pooped in it?
I think so, because I remember they were like after she, either I think maybe she threw up on the floor, and then they looked at me and they said, "Oh, I guess you could sign the wall too if you want." I was like, "Well, Gertie already left her mark, so I'm going to run with
Gertie."
But you guys know the deal on that. Lynn's one of the I truly mean this absolute killer, one of the best comics in New York City. If you're finding out about her right now, she's getting way better with social media. And
have you noticed?
I really have.
You know why? Because Louis C.K. For Christmas bought me his social media girl for 3 months.
That's
so
a
she's
great
helping
gift.
me.
And in return, you slipped him this book that I wrote.
I did. I gave him your book as a gift.
Somewhere it's holding just some sort of a table or chair upright in its proper position.
No, he's like, this looks interesting. I'll read it.
I still geek out about comics. That's why I still love this too much. Before I dive in on it, because you and me on the long car rides, the reason they don't feel long is because the conversations are always
We
awesome.
talk nonstop.
Well, the AC you and me spoke about, because what was
Sometimes I cry, though.
It's a give and take. Sometimes it's more interpersonal, and other times we get a chance to talk about the Gilded Age. So
Correct that.
you're big on that one, and you're one of the first people I got the book to as well. So you
Very
actually
good.
know a shitload about history, and you play it off low key.
I guess more than I realize I know.
You know way more than you're giving yourself credit for.
I read a lot in COVID.
That's
Because when things are going bad now, I like to look back.
So what? Checking out like Spanish flu.
Well,
stuff like that?
yeah, Spanish flu and Gilded Age, and just I like to look at stuff about sexual revolution and all that, and I like to go back to when there's things happening. I just go back because history repeats itself, and I always
You nailed it.
I feel comfort in looking back and saying, okay, those people made it through this. We will too. They had a quarter of what we have in terms of information.
It should
and
make you feel better, right?
yeah, it does. Because if you think about it, if you were in a war or something, you had to wait to find out what was going on.
The slow information stuff.
Yeah.
We talk because
You had
that's
to wait till the battle was over and somebody came, like in the 1700s, they had to really wait for someone to get home.
Yeah,
They'd be
you
like,
think you're having
I'm
a good day?
alive.
Well, that even just as a soldier, you just made me think of it, where you're like, you're charging in the Battle of New Orleans under future President Andrew Jackson, and you're kicking British ass left and right, and then somebody comes by and tells you, oh, by the way, Europe just let us know that the war's been over, and this is actually none of this meant anything. We could have gone home.
Right.
You know that story, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally the guy ran on it. He was the hero of the Battle of New Orleans, and that unnecessary thing. It's like playing a game of football after the Super Bowl.
Well, it's also weird, like after the Holocaust, when the Holocaust ended or when slaves were freed, like people then had to come out and find them because people were hiding. They didn't know if everything was over for real.
Paco's Japanese family members were hiding out in bunkers with sniper rifles, not aware that the war with Japan had ended.
But that's what always has to happen. Like then people have to go and get them and be like, oh, hello, it's okay. We're safe.
I was
Put your
warned.
sniper rifles down.
I was warned there was going to be a trick like this. How can prove it to me? Hold up 2 different newspapers.
But I think we're talking about war and things that are just terrifying.
Yeah.
You don't just go, oh, okay, the Nazis are gone. Cool, I'll come out. No, I don't think so. They're a shifty group. I'll wait.
Yeah, I was going to say you kind of got to wait them out a little bit, and it's now weirdly enough they come into the story a little bit here today, not in a crazy way, but as we did with the cold open, we leaned in on the Kennedys. So like there's no wrong answers here, free association. When you hear the Kennedys, what just kind of gets conjured up in your mind?
In my mind,
Yeah.
at this point in my life, honestly, I think corrupt
Okay.
and
It's,
good looking.
Good looking, corrupt. I like it. 2 for 2.
I think propaganda.
There's definitely, and propaganda is such a weird word too, how you apply it, because there's so much positive propaganda on that.
I mean it as positive.
Right.
That there was a spin on them that always made them come off like they were just had no stink on them. But in truth, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens with I remember in high school coming in and saying to my mom, Ted Kennedy killed someone. And my mom goes, oh, yeah. And I was like, what are we going to do about it? Like, what are you talking about? We're not going to do anything about it. And I'm like, well, why has he gotten away with it? And my mom's like, he's a Kennedy. And that was her answer. And I was like, he's a Kennedy?
So in your mom's answer, if I had asked your mom that, she would just sit there and be like, well, the power,
Untouchables and
beyond reproach.
And I think she would have said, because having been alive in the 60s of adult age and having a kid and everything, I think she would also tell you American royalty.
it's there. And by the way, royalty, you were saying propaganda is a good thing. Royalty can be good or bad depending on who you're talking to. Because if we say royalty and we're talking about, let's say King Henry VIII, you're going to put like, oh, he was, a big, player in the world. Queen Elizabeth is going to be a good one. But then there's also the Marie Antoinettes of the world.
But I think to call them royalty is fair because there's corruption with royals. We've seen it now with the actual royal family. Like there's things that are swept under the rug right away.
Oh, it's a shit show with old Meghan and
that was great because they couldn't even hide the look on their face. Like that wedding was one of the best things I've ever seen. You just saw, you could see, you could almost hear the Queen going, "Why are all these black people here?" Pardon me.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Washington. Could you get me something to drink? He's an invited guest, Queen Mum.
Sending Meghan Markle's cousins to go get a drink for somebody, that would be, man. It writes itself on that one. But there is the royal nature of it. And I've been having a hard time trying to, maybe you know this because you really are a great person for pulling weird facts out of places.
That is true. Usually my butt.
Well, that, and then you're, for whatever reason, your undeniable sports betting guru knowledge. I have made money off things you've told me. I can't pretend
you
it's
and
not
my
real.
ex.
That's well.
It's the only party trick. For some reason, it's the only thing I.
Just so you know, Paco, I know you're not a huge sports guy, but Lynne predicted and called the Giants drafting Daniel Jones at number 6 overall. And we were in the green room during, like, she was on stage when it happened. So it wasn't like she knew something ahead of time. And she completely, like, and then I asked her, I was like, is he going to be good? And she goes, there's going to be moments. And she was right. There was moments.
Which one was the one where I told you, I go, this guy thinks he's going to win, but he's not. There was one, and you go, and it was a guy that nobody liked.
It might have been.
He was going to get kicked off or something, and I go, no, he's not.
I think you called it that might have been Johnny Football. You might have called when Johnny Manziel got drafted to the Browns. And you were right about that one, too.
Yeah.
It's getting creepier. Lynn Stradamus is what I call you.
I'm kind of a diviner with football games. It's bizarre.
Well, nobody could actually try to predict the Kennedy thing happening because it's trippy. I went just through to try to get to this one Kennedy we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. I had to dive into a little bit of the backstory on them. So what's really interesting is I'm always hung up on stories where it goes the exact storybook fairy tale way, but then you have to mix in the reality because the Kennedys are just ripe with tragedy. I mean, it's pretty damning.
Right.
And we were talking about on the ride over here, the Irish first names. I've said it on air before. I'm having a son. We're naming him Brody. Sorry, Carly. I want to let everybody know. And it's a good Irish name or whatever, but it's not one of the complicated ones like we talked about where it's going to have like 19 vowels in it.
Like Seamus.
Yeah, or Aoife, that's spelled Aiofe or whatever it is.
Aoife.
Yeah, that's that was the reaction anybody else had. But we're having a boy, so I'm off the hook. The Kennedys are iconic, and not in like the Paris Hilton sense of the word on that one. Although they do, like you see, I guess they're maybe the more preferred royalty because I was trying to think who else would be considered royalty in America, like to compete with them. Is there anybody that jumps out at you?
I mean, now kind of Trump, but not in a good way.
He's got, if they make his family like a mascot.
He's like the Napoleon.
Well, he's, anybody who's, and by the way, this totally ties into the episode too because money is always going to marry money. Right? Like I think we talked about this the one time. I'm fascinated by this. Nikki Hilton married into the Rothschild family.
I'm not surprised.
No, and by the way, she not only married into that, but the person she married, her husband, is the heir to part of the Rothschild family fortune, and then also Guinness Brewing. So they all meet each other at these secret little parties.
Have you ever met Nikki Hilton?
No, I don't want to out you as to whether or not you have. I might know a story.
No, I have.
Go ahead. Now that you're comfortable telling it.
Well, I'm not comfortable. Which story? The one about her not knowing what her favorite color was? I interviewed her on something, and I was like, what's your favorite color? I was like, they were like, give her some softball questions. And she literally went, I don't, and I was like, you don't know your, yeah. And then I think she said white or black or something. And I was like, okay, it's not really a color, but
primary, got
cool.
it. That's
no, black is the absence of color. White's the presence of all color. They're not colors.
See, I told you were going to pull out some facts. Everyone did get a little bit smarter just now, thanks to Lynne Koplitz.
No, she's okay. I just, I wouldn't plan on her curing any kind of cancer anytime soon.
Yeah, Madame Curie, she won't be, but
yeah, rich people hang out with rich people.
they do. There's a whole social order to it. Like when we talk about Gilded Age stuff and like the old mansions and everything like that that's been built, it's they have like these balls to. Maybe you can explain this better. What is it when they would have like someone's coming out party or whatever,
like a cotillion or
yeah, because we hear coming out right now, we're just like, oh, it's when Dom tells us he's been gay the whole time. We're like, we knew Dom.
Oh no! It was when a young woman. Yeah, look, the whole goal back then was to marry up, and because women didn't have a lot of options, so we're talking Gilded Age. We're talking like 1896, end of the 1800s. Mm-hmm. So at that time, especially women were still looking to get a good catch and make a good marriage.
Yeah, marrying well's an option. Maybe the only option, like you said.
Well, if your dad died, you might not inherit everything. If you had a brother, it might go to him. So you kind of needed it to secure a dude. I'm guessing the best thing would get one that's got, a bad cough. Like his family's just healing from the plague.
Yeah, you're prospecting.
Pox. Yeah. But they did a lot of cool things. Like I think it was the first, somebody who's a bigger history buff is going to.
Oh, I get yelled at all the time
say
in the comments.
What is right and wrong. But there was this thing they used to do. It was like January 1st here in the city. And the men would drop their calling cards and they would have like open houses at people's homes where respective young women were. The guys would come by and they'd be like, oh, Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Burke is stopping by today.
A gentleman
and
caller.
Then they would, I'm sure the cook or whatever would show them how to make one thing. And they'd be like, this figgy pudding was made by Miss Lynne. And I'd come out with one weird eye. And because the girls that were from the high up families were not always that pretty.
No, you're somewhere between the Glass Menagerie right now and Patrice's Harassment Day bit that always
like Harassment Day, exactly.
Legal Harassment Day. That's
But I find that kind of fascinating too about the Gilded Age. Like you could live right across the street from somebody, and if you wanted to say hi to me today or pop in and ask me a question because we couldn't just call on the phone, your footman would come over and ask my footman if it would be okay.
Different times.
And they would bring a calling card and it would say, Mr. Burke is interested in having a conversation with you today at 10 o'clock or whatever, which probably meant me and my little Irish handmaidens would go upstairs and change my clothes for the 5th time. It seems like that was the thing women did.
Oh, it was a full-time job. Like the idea
for like a century, women just kept changing.
They definitely, to be like a female head of household too, or something like that, that was, and that kind of goes in with the Kennedys too, because it's, obviously we're talking about the time frame of when these Kennedys were born. And by the way, just to give you the breakdown on this one, it's as close to a zeitgeist as I'm going to get today, Dom, so whenever you're ready. To try to explain this one, zeitgeist, by the way, German for spirit of the times. Mm-hmm. So that's why Joe Kennedy, who is a pretty important guy over here, Joe Kennedy he's quite the pisser. He's an interesting guy for multiple reasons because he's going to take the family that is on the rise. Because again, his grandfather arrived in New York. I guess it was not New York. I'm sorry, East Boston. He went to East Boston and he was a barrel maker. And then it's going to take a couple generations, but that is the true American success story. That eventually, throughout the generations, they do wind up giving us the first Irish Catholic president of the United States. It just takes, a little bit of time here. But Joe Kennedy's fascinating because his dad has already gotten into politics here, but Joe Kennedy's going to take the family's decent success and he amplifies it to levels that we know of today. So when we think about the Kennedys today, it's all because of stuff that JFK's father, Joe, did. So his timing in business is truly charmed. He'll never build a business from scratch. He's sort of like an episode of Shark Tank kind of thing, where he goes, I'll buy that and I'll fix it. And then as I'm fixing it, I'll probably sell it because they'll see I fixed it, but then they won't know that it won't work, and I'll be out of it already, and I'll have made my money. So he's brilliant that way. He's also tied in a little bit of the liquor business. Some people said he was...
You mean prohibition?
They were saying, and it's really conflicting stories as to whether or not he was involved in bootlegging.
Prohibition helped people make a lot of money.
100%. And there was legal ways to make the money then, and then there was also the illegal ways, but I guess...
I think illegally was the way to go for most of them.
Well, if you don't want to pay taxes, right? Really, I think that's why they cracked down on it. Too many people were making money without paying taxes. We go after cartels or, certain gang activity, all for those things, because you're not kicking up upstairs to Uncle Sam.
Why do you think pot is getting legal now?
They want to have a little kick up to Uncle
tax.
Sam.
Yeah, same thing with prostitutes. They should make that legal too.
It's true, and Paco's dancing right now in celebration, but only as a feminist because he believes that sex work is work. He tells me this all the time.
It is.
They have to another type of job where you have to have 5 different outfit changes a day, right?
I don't think so. I
You don't
think
think so?
naked is probably the best change. But I just feel I want sex workers for it to be legal just because I think it protects them.
There's that.
It gives them health care. It gives them, our government knows who's doing what. I think it makes you safer.
Did I ever tell you this, that Seattle, because it's so muddy over there, when they were the pioneer people, and by the way, that's always the history of any settlement you've ever been to is the pioneers come, right, and they start to settle a place. And then the sex workers arrive, some pimp or some, grandiose fella is going to show up with, can girls or something. And then the women are always going to be in town because that's the only way you can get guys to come out there and work the horrible jobs is that they're going to go spend a third of their paycheck on trying to hook up with, ladies of the night, if you will. So it was pretty much, it wasn't legal, but it was frowned upon. But in Seattle, it was one of the first times I've ever seen this done. You've been out to Seattle before, right?
No.
No? Okay.
Only place, really.
Really? Because
I've been to Portland.
Portland, I heard, is cool too. They might have a similar story to this, but Seattle has like 13 to 30, somewhere in that, of blocks of underground subterranean city. And
yeah, I've heard this, and you've told me about this.
Yeah, so it's the craziest thing because just real quickly for the audience, if you built property in Seattle, it was so muddy and it rained so often that they said, all right, you have to build, we can't build on this as it is, we have to build a road above it. So your first floor, your building would have to be 2 stories. And the first floor of your building, that can be where you're working out of for right now. And then when the road finally comes in and they pave the roads over here, then it's going to be that'll be your new first floor. So you're actually, the city's coming in and building you a basement. So where you're at right now is going to become the basement. And then the street level is going to be up there. So there's all this subterranean parts of the street here. And the way that they paid for the roads, they taxed prostitution. So not to be too coarse or vulgar here, but when you find out that, this road was paved with the power of, vagina, it's...
The P word.
Yeah, legal vagina. But, they don't really get into that one here. The Kennedys are somewhat straight-laced.
I wonder how you tip that.
Which one? To tip, Go on, I'm excited.
Like, do you tip the prostitutes before the tax?
They give you a suggested gratuity on the bottom of the receipt.
Oh, I would.
That's right. You hand one to P. Diddy, and you're like, hey, parties are 6 or more, buddy. Flat rate. Okay? That's
6 or more, you already are being gratuities included.
I would. So they should have the same protections of the restaurant industry. I agree
That's
with
right.
that.
And there should also be a bell in the cat house. Like every 15 minutes, there should be a bell in your room that you're like, time's up.
Okay, I like that one. Now, could it have a countdown clock, though, where the guy knows he has to finish up and you can try to have like that Michael Jordan buzzer
She can
beater
flick
moment?
a light the way we do on stage.
You're going to
Wrap
light...
it up. You got 2 minutes.
Now, are you lighting the prostitute or the John in this one?
The John. It's always the John. I've always had a problem with that. So you pay the guy pays you. But what if it's taking him forever? That's not right. Your turnaround needs to be. I want my girls not wasting any more time than a half an hour on these guys.
The blue collar guy in me wants to bill them for time and material.
What's material?
Well, for me, that would be like if
Condoms?
I guess it would be that one, or a silly outfit, or whatever other strange fetish the guy might have. It's extra for a feather duster kind of thing.
I like the idea of like 20 minutes in, if he hasn't, finished,
20-minute and a buzzer.
then it stops. And it's like, if you want to finish, you got to pay for another 20 minutes. Just like they do when they give you a foot massage or a back massage.
Interesting. Okay, so that's
How much time are you paying for it? It should be just like a foot massage. When you go to the massage parlors and it's like an hour is this much, 20 minutes is that much.
According to AI Overview here, Paco and Dom just pulled this up for us. If you take too long with a sex worker, the most immediate consequence is that you will likely be expected to pay for additional time.
Exactly.
Or the session will simply end, like the buzzer beater, after the originally agreed upon duration. Legally engaging with a sex worker carries significant risks regardless of the duration, including arrest and criminal charges for solicitation or patronizing of my head's in the way, prostitute, which can result in jail time and or fines. Now, you know who's always saying sex work is work, by the way? Mike Harrington, selling his body on the streets right now, no longer an employee here. Crazy, right? Mm-hmm. He's
Who?
Mike Harrington. He's
I don't know him.
He's great. We love him to death. He's actually the reason I got onto the network here, but we like to tease him right now because he's not producing the show anymore.
So he's a sex worker now?
Yep, that's what we're just going to go with this week. That's the update for hitting Harrington this week, folks. He's hanging out under a bridge, and he's letting you know it's cash offers only. So,
Okay, KP, I'm getting bored.
Let's get into the Kennedys. So
Now the guys in the booth are like, wow, I'm glad KP brought his friend. She's an idiot.
no, stop it. Here's the crazy part. We're going to talk about Kick Kennedy. That's a pretty good nickname.
Kick?
Kick was her name. So she's a female Kennedy.
I know a Kick. I know a guy named Kick.
A dude named Kick? Mm-hmm. I knew a Bap Kennedy, but he was an
Bap?
Irish. Bap was his name, B-A-P. Irish, like truly from there. Rock and roll guy. Pretty cool dude. But Joe Kennedy is going to wind up having a series of kids over here. And
don't they have like a baseball team?
9.
Yeah, 9 kids.
He has a starting
That's like
9.
a baseball team,
Correct.
isn't it?
If they could have just 2 more kids, it would have been a football team, but that's Phillip Rivers does that one. Joe Kennedy has 9 children, all of them with his wife, by the way. And let me be clear, Joe Kennedy was banging anything that moved. He actually had, this tripped me out. Do you know the name Gloria Swanson?
Yeah.
Old-time film actress.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Kennedy was having an affair with her for years and actually screwed her out of some sort of a big motion picture deal because he was also involved with studios. So this idea of, when we hear JFK, and obviously people immediately think Marilyn Monroe, he's just following in his father's footsteps by...
Not just JFK, but him and Bobby.
The vice, I thought this was worth mentioning, the vice that... the most common vice for Irish people is drinking. And Joe Kennedy was like, I don't really want my kids to drink. Don't try whiskey till you're an adult kind of a thing. He actually paid them money to not.
Just cheat on your wife.
That was their vice. They were like, well, we don't drink, so we're just going to pretty much cheat on our wives all the time.
And hit her if you have to, but just don't drink.
The wives they picked were pretty tough ladies. And the girls were spirited, I'll say. So I got the names here for you. All interesting here. By the way, I think JFK Jr. banked Madonna too, right? So that's another one where it just kind of all carries on and on.
JFK Jr.?
I think JFK Jr. was hooking up with Madonna at one point.
I think so.
And then there's that whole part of the story where Arnold Schwarzenegger bangs his way into their family too. But that's another episode.
Okay, wait. I know. You're making my head hurt. Stay on point.
You got it. You're the best. All right. Joe Kennedy has 9 children, all with his wife. Joe Jr., okay, who's going to be the apple of his eye. When this boy is born, they literally say this is the future president of the United States. JFK was not the one they chose for that.
Whatever happened to Joe Jr.?
Well, there's a reason why they can't make anything happen with him. Are you familiar with the idea that the Kennedy family is actually who they base the Corleone family off of in The Godfather?
No, but I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, Mario Puzo is said to have drawn heavy inspiration. So the Corleone compound is kind of based off Hyannis, which is where the Kennedy compound up in Massachusetts. And he's got a bunch of kids here, like we said. There's Joe Jr.
Were any of them low on the spectrum? Did they have a disappointment room?
They had one, and she was. Joe Kennedy is such a crazy guy because they were so big on the family name. This was the thing that they were. So he does educate all of his daughters and stuff too. But like you were saying before, it's to make sure that when the gentleman callers arrive, that it's not a derpy, one eye doesn't open all the way, or she doesn't know how to cook, or she's an airhead. You want to have a sophisticated woman of the times, because number one, that makes your family look good, and that also kind of traps in the idea that you're going to get a better gentleman caller. So when money marries money, there's going to be like, all right, well, if I have a pretty young lady here and she's well-rounded, that will attract a better
kind
suitor.
of.
Go ahead.
But there was also an argument that if she was too well-rounded, and this happened to Florence Nightingale as well, she was lippy, and she knew more information than a lot of the guys knew. And her father was constantly saying, like, I let you learn all this. I let you read. Could you please stop?
Tone it down a little.
Right, because these men would come in to meet her, and they would be like, well, in Bolivia, this happens. And she'd be like, really? No, it doesn't. And he'd be like, okay, I only take you, travel you, because I love you and you're my daughter, but you can't keep showing up all these guys.
It's such a trope in movies where it's the spirited young girl and she just is like too smart for her own good kind of a thing. But it comes from somewhere, and that's because people like Florence Nightingale. And also, oddly enough, Kit Kennedy, who we're about to get into.
Right.
She was the big one too, Alice Roosevelt. You and me talked about her ad nauseum one time. She was too cool for school.
But but I'm saying, there might have been times back then when the father went, I never should have let her read.
I believe that. And by the way, Kik is too free-spirited for her own good. She's also one of the few Kennedys to ever get the threat of being disowned. So they're trying to create this aura of this Kennedy family. And Kik's kind of, we're going to get into her here. She's pretty outstanding here. There is, like I said, Joe Jr., then there's JFK himself, Rosemary, Eunice, Bobby, RFK, Patricia, Jean, and then Edward, a.k.a. Ted Kennedy. So that's the 9 kids that he has out there. There's, of course, one Kennedy that's missing.
Eunice was very well known.
She is very well known. And then also Rosemary gets a lot of attention because they thought she was just kind of quiet. She might have been spectrum type behavior. And
disappointment room.
That's the disappointment room.
You know what that is, right?
Hit me, because I think...
So they used to have this thing, I don't know if it was started in like 1700s or whatever, but they had a room, and it was often like in the basement or all the way in the attic, where they would put, families that were wealthy families would put their children that were a disappointment, that were low on the spectrum or acted out
before
or whatever.
We had words for it and everything. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's poor Rosemary, who actually...
And they would be like in a cell. Like they would just be there all day. And they usually had they might have a nurse or somebody who came in, and they definitely got fed well. And
not abused, but certainly neglected.
They didn't have free loose of the house.
No.
Yeah.
No, you hid that one. That was
They were hidden often.
Well, she was actually given a lobotomy that kind of took whatever faculty she had about her out, and it kind of ruined it. She's definitely a dark chapter in the family history.
Oh, yeah,
here.
that was a lovely thing men used to do for women.
Oh, yeah, just,
she's
need a lobotomy.
uppity.
That's right. How many times?
Shock her.
I love you. Like, I love very few people in my life. How many times do you think you would have been sent for a lobotomy?
Lobotomized?
Yes. If you,
I would have been masturbated by doctors. I would have been lobotomized. I would have all kinds of weird 18th century dildos shoved up me. Are you kidding? And ultimately, I would have been dumped in a lake and killed.
You think so? They would have.
Yeah, I had a medium tell me once that I had been murdered 9 times in past lives. And it was all for things I said, for my being outspoken. This
is why I love talking to you, too, because AI, as great as it is, could never solve you or where your sentences are going to go. And that's why you're a joy to talk to. You're unpredictable.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure throughout history, I was always the one that goes, screw Caesar. Now let's kill her.
Exactly. Oh man, it's the reason why the stories live on, like about suffragettes and stuff like that, is because they actually got to live to tell their tales afterwards. You know what I mean? That was a relatively new concept.
But like suffrage again, that gets me crazy. By the way, KP, with like the young feminists now. We were just talking about this at the dog park, and thank you for letting me do this show because it's proving to me that I really need Botox.
Ugh, stop.
Or something, just a facelift, or just never come out in public. But anyway, we were talking about how now, like, everyone's like, you know, we're here now. Like, my nieces will be like, men, time's up, and we're really making changes for women. And I'm like, okay, you are, but you do understand, like, the suffragettes were getting punched in the face by the police.
Yeah, firebombed too a couple times, I think, right?
Oh my gosh. Women were locked out of their homes by their husbands. The cops would go to the husbands and say, she's out of control. Like, they're trying to vote, and your wife's at one of these meetings.
She's trying to vote.
They're trying to vote. These bitches be voting. And and they're voting within their own little ranks. And now they've got these other women that they're protecting because there was like a whole underground railroad of hiding the women that were influencing. It was big time. And then there've been a lot of big sexual revolutions.
Certainly.
And I'm a big fan of the whole 60s. I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, Burn My Bra, my girl, what's her name that I love? What her name just got? Gloria
Steinem. Yeah. Did you know she's actually Christian Bale, I think, is like her that's his stepmom or something?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Christian Bale is because again, money finds money, right? That's
kinda. I mean, I think it's just a matter. It's not even money finds money. It's just the people you hang out with.
Certainly.
I mean, Cher has more money than anybody, and she went out with that bagel guy, and she married. I thought she married him or dated him for a while. Like, he was a butcher, like from her local.
That had to be the craziest story.
I'm just saying, like, I don't even think it's a money finds money. That feels snobby to me. I think it's just who you're around.
It's all about the circles you keep, for sure.
Have you dated down? When you date down, the issue is now you're doing a red carpet thing, and you got to take this guy or whatever who has no concept of what you're doing, and it's like, you want me to hold your purse? Like, I'm not gonna look like your butt boy, and you're like, all right, dude, like, yeah, it's just a lot. But when you're dating people that get you and get your family and get, your station, I guess. Now it's different. Now everybody's more equal, but it wasn't always like that.
Oh, you couldn't get into some of these circles too. The big knock on the
Kennedys. Our president's helped a lot because he's so low rent that it is now. It's no, and I'm not for or against him. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying fine. He's so low rent that you don't have to feel like people with money are above you.
I've heard it said that he's like Rodney Dangerfield in Washington was his Caddyshack. That's something I heard.
I don't think he's that charming. I think it's more like he's just eating a burger and spitting it out while he talks. And and you're able to just be like, wow, okay, this is our president. Like, that's...
It's a trippy one too, but the circles thing is big too, because there are, you were saying before about feminism and everything. Big tenet of all that is glass ceiling, right?
Right.
What's the most you can actually, get up to here? Big glass ceiling for the Kennedy family. I kind of knew this just from growing up this way, but I never lived in an era where the Irish Catholics were as America had a disdain for them.
Talk about Gilded Age. Are you kidding? Do you know what they used to do? Like, a lot of families had Irish maids and Irish people in the kitchen.
By request, yeah.
Right? And they would call them all like one name. So it'd be like Bridget. And the woman would be like, my name's Molly, whatever, McGee. And they'd be like, all right, Bridget, our Bridget's in the kitchen. Like, so racist, so horrible.
The Irish aren't great about names, though. There's about like 10 names that get circulated around.
No, but I'm telling you, the aristocracy would pick names for them, just like they used to do with black people, where they would.
Yeah.
Then one of the indoor slaves might be called Washington, and they'd be like, "Our Washington does this, and your Washington does that," But his real name was Darnell, but he's being called Washington.
Like a dehumanizing.
Totally, naming all your dogs Spot.
It's that one's that.
It's a totally awful thing to do.
Makes me think of Uga from University
Watch
of
the
Georgia.
Lizzie Borden movie where they name her They name the woman who helps Lizzie kill her parents Molly or something, and she knows her real name.
Oh, that one's. I do have to watch that too. We did an episode on Lizzie way back in the day.
Misunderstood.
That's Paco, you know her story, right? Lizzie Borden, 40 whacks with an axe or whatever it was. She murdered her parents, but
there's an old thing. Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When that job was neatly done, she gave her father 41.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not really how many times she struck them. It was less than that. But she never. The thing about her was she never got accused of it. Like she was never.
They never proved it.
They never proved it.
And she lived a happy life the rest of her life.
Well, I mean, she lived a very isolated life.
Yeah.
But
Lizzie
it was a little bit of a Menendez thing. Her parents weren't great.
By the way, she was a Massachusetts person too.
Big time.
Yeah, that was. I'm trying to remember what town the bed and breakfast
was it
is.
Amherst or?
I think you're right. You can stay in the house at a bed and breakfast there. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people. Carly just says a flat hell no on all that.
Yeah, I'm a hell no on that too. No, thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what. The one thing here about Joe Kennedy's kids is that he's got the eye of the tiger on his oldest son being president. Like you said, you asked a great question. You said, "What happened to him?" Well, he dies in World War II.
Oh.
He was a naval aviator, and he was shot down on a top secret mission, and that alters the plan. So when I was saying Godfather
so
before...
now they're like, Jack, come here. And
Yeah.
Jack's like, what? So he's a Michael Corleone.
I was going to go into journalism. I thought I was going to do... I wanted to write in the papers. And then they're like, nope, you're president now, dude. Suck it up. But your dad has this
I can
dream
never
for
live
you.
up to Joe.
That was part of his drive, if you will, was trying to live up to that. They were tight. The kids were all tight. They all played football against each other. It was like a pretty happy childhood. And then slowly the dad started grooming them for different things. And Kick is born, by the way, in 1920, right in the I would call, roaring 20s are coming in, Gilded Age kind of coming to a close. She gets educated at a top-notch school over in the Bronx. Joe Kennedy might not have had major political plans for his daughters, but he does value education.
Of course he did not.
Well, you want to get him...
You're hilarious.
They
You
couldn't-
think he would have political plans for his daughter? At that time and thing, it's like that
you're right.
they marry someone he
That's
could have
the move.
political plans for.
That was the move.
That they don't go doing things that are so stupid that nobody will want them.
Which is 100% true. There are no actual plans for like, well, what if we get her to be a member of the House of Representatives? They're like, no, what if she marries a member of the House of Representatives? That was kind of the angle they were going to.
Of course.
So what I got here, there's a corporate merger of sorts on this kind of a thing where you want to have your men, the men in your family, you want them to marry well and maybe attract a girl who comes from wealth. And then you yourself also want to have women that are well-rounded that come from wealth, so you can, kind of, it's power plays in a weird way in these small, circles over here. But Kick is a pretty young lady.
Oh, she's cute.
She is. You're pulling up a picture of her.
Yeah. I
Paco,
wanted
could
to
you
see
pull
what
up a
she looked
picture of Kick Kennedy without get there? So she's cute. You put a little makeup on her. She kind of looks like Maddie Smith, actually. That's tell me I'm wrong on that one. There's a little Maddie Smith to her game, but. She's dressed in a certain outfit.
She looks a lot like my grandmother, to be honest with you.
It's there. She's old time pretty. By the way, you doctor up a photo too. You get this girl to start wearing some eyeliner, mascara, and she's probably. You can understand why she will become the belle of the ball in these circles. Which number one is interesting because it's not exactly what her dad wanted. Number two, it's going to take place in Europe, which is a little confusing for a girl who's the queen bee in Massachusetts. But in 1938, FDR takes his good relationship with Joe Kennedy a step further. He appoints Joe Kennedy as the ambassador to England. This is pre-World War II America. It's pretty intense. Kick's going to go to England with her father. She is instantly, in the year she goes over there, 1938, she is named the debutante of the year. Pretty solid move there. She's the it girl. She'll also start dating...
Which is to say, she's the one to get.
Yeah, that's who the men were falling over themselves to talk to. So it's, by the way, she winds up dating a young David Rockefeller at the time. So again, that the powerful families all kind of converging here. So that is David Rockefeller, who is the grandson of John D., the big swinging dick Rockefeller. But money and politics kind of always intertwine here. But Kick is a real character. Her time in England is going to seem to bring out another layer in her already vibrant personality. She is, like I said, she's got some cute factor going on over there. She also comes from money, which helps you out with getting around all these things here.
There's a young Kick too.
So there's two of them. So RFK Jr. named his daughter Kick, I believe.
Kathleen,
too.
yeah, and
Kathleen,
she's Kick.
Which is their family's good about their own legacy.
And she's dating
I didn't even get to this. Who's she dating?
Ben Affleck.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Lynne Koplitz, are you messing with me right now?
According to Us Media, which is very reliable source, Good Will Hunting actor has been spending time with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s 36-year-old daughter, Kit Kennedy. They were recently seen at the Polo Lounge at the Beverly Hills Hotel, among other places.
Affleck. Dude, if he marries into the Kennedy family.
Yeah, and
Oh,
Kit Kennedy,
man.
there's a picture of her hanging out with Amanda Hearst. You're right, like rich people know each other.
Oh, yeah, William Randolph Hearst.
Emerged after pairs' supposed fling have taken to platforms like Reddit to point out how Kick looks like an amalgamation of J-Lo and Jennifer Garner.
Wow. All right, so she's a looker too then. Yeah, Affleck, she's got some taste.
She is cute. That's her.
She is cute. There is something there. Wow. All right, so good on you, Affleck. That and you were the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
There she is as a little girl in her uncle JFK Jr.'s arms.
That one's, there's, by the way, that comes in the whole thing too. This family is American royalty. There's a lot of fairy tale factor here, but God, is there a lot of tragedy in this family. And this girl, by the way, big personality. All the Kennedys seem to have all of this charm over here. She loves England, does not want to leave, gets booted out, by the way. She has to leave because the Germans are invading and England is no longer safe. So they're going to have to figure something out over here. Kick is a nice Irish Catholic girl, too, and they're getting a little bit worked up about her spending a little bit too much time with these hoity-toity English socialites, if you will. But when she comes back to America, she volunteers with the Red Cross. She begins a little bit of a quasi-career in journalism, and she starts working for the Washington Times-Herald. This is my favorite thing. I think I've told you about it. It's a chapter in my book. Have we talked about Inga Arvad?
Huh?
All right, Inga Arvad. Gorgeous Danish reporter. She was one of the first reporters to ever get a sit-down interview with Hitler. And Inga Arvad was thought to be a Nazi spy. J. Edgar Hoover had people on her all the time, following her around. And she was a
little creep.
Oh, he was definitely a creep. But he had a steamy hotel room hookup, whether it be a tape, like just an audio tape of her hooking up with a young naval officer.
Wasn't he the one who dressed in women's clothes?
So that was J. Edgar Hoover. They started that rumor about him because he was so straight-laced. It was the funniest thing you could say about him. You know what I mean? So it's like just go for the oxymoron or whatever. Not oxymoron. What am I thinking? Whatever the antithesis of his behavior would be. So they did that mockingly of him. No one ever proved it. But Hoover's got this tape. Imagine sitting on gold like this. You're tracking down Inga Arvad, who is the journalist that Kit Kennedy is working for at this paper. And then Inga Arvad starts hooking up with this young naval officer. And you think she's a spy for Hitler, so you set up traps and you're recording her. And you have this tape of her getting, having sex with a young naval officer whose name is John F. Kennedy. So the future president of the United States, have a sex tape on him where you're like, oh, yeah, we were investigating her to be a Nazi spy. I'm sure you wouldn't really like this to get to the papers, right? So you're going to just let me run my Bureau of Investigation with no impediment from you. And JFK pretty much was like, Mr. Hoover, do whatever you have to do. Just do it for the interest of the country. And let him do his thing, man. All because of this weird connection that they had on that and this sex tape, for lack of a better term. But he only knows Inga Arvad because Kick, his older sister, or younger sister actually, starts working for her. So that's that weird connection there. But eventually, it's 1943, and Kick is going to find her way back to England.
Like in real time. This is taking forever.
It's what we do. It's a history show.
I'm listening to you. I'm like, wait, what year are we? How long have I been here?
That
Come on, KP, let's get to it. What's the story
You're
with
making me
Kit?
feel like you're experiencing a David Lynch movie right now.
I am. Like, I'm in this the green stuff. Wait, come on. You know I love you. Just get to it. Come on. What are we going to talk? We're going to run out of time to talk about Kit.
You're good. No, Kik we're already in her story here because she is about to become the Royal Kennedy. She's going to actually, it's 1943, and she is going against her family and especially her Irish Catholic upbringing because she's beginning a romance with a boy that they don't approve of. He is an Anglican, which is the Church of England, right? Mm-hmm. And so they're against that because it's Catholic versus Anglican. There's the whole, King Henry VIII thing. Combine all of that with the whole English versus Irish thing. You can see why the Kennedys aren't thrilled, except you would think that the fact that Kik has fallen in love with William Cavendish, the Marquess of Hartington, in short, he will eventually, when his dad passes away, the title of being the Duke of Devonshire will be bestowed upon this man that she's in love with. She's going to marry.
So she's going to be a duchess.
Eventually a duchess.
Duchess Cavendish.
Well, the title for this is actually, so if you're the Duke in waiting, you're a Marquess of Queensberry.
Is it Marquess?
Yeah, it's a split thing on that one. But then the female version of that is Marchioness. That's what they would call it. So she literally, if she marries this guy, she gets a royal title.
Okay.
So I have a hard time deferring royal between noble, but it's a different social circle at the very least.
It's like a noble time. Okay.
So she's going to marry this noble guy, and she's not getting the approval of her family back home. Her parents are attempting to postpone the wedding. Her own mother keeps trying to talk her out of it. She hates this idea that her grandchildren are going to be Anglican and not Catholic like she was. And she winds up going through with the marriage anyway. It's a civil service. They don't have a big wedding. The only person who attends is Joe Jr., her oldest brother, who she was very close with. The reason he's in England is because he's training with the Navy for a couple of top secret missions coming up. That top secret mission is going to take his life. He dies.
You're making me not like the Kennedys.
Well,
because the whole, my ex is from Massachusetts and his friends all suck. And it's partly because they're all that Irish Massachusetts. She's not part of our family. And she thinks she's better than us.
She's going to be a Marchioness or something. You believe that?
Can I curse on this?
Of course you can.
Everything with them is like, fuck her. Fuck her.
I don't think that's too far from what the conversation is.
She thinks she's better than us. She's not. Fuck her. Yeah, that's what I'm sure happened. Well, fuck that Marcus. Fuck him.
His name is Marcus? That's what you're telling me? No. He's the Marquess of Devonshire.
Fuck them. Fuck England.
He's going to be, fuck Duke. We like Villanova around here. What's
fuck
wrong
them.
with Yale? So, it's trippy, but the only person that attends is her older brother, Joe.
Right.
Of course, he's going to die.
You tell Kathleen to come home. She's going to get written out of the whole thing. She's not going to be in the football game this year, Kathleen.
They threaten her with that. Eventually.
I'm sure they did.
Oh, they weren't happy about it at all.
And she was like, fine.
Essentially, she was a
you guys are wicked
girl.
losers anyway.
You do want to be like that she just flips the finger with her wedding ring on it and just lets them know. You know what I mean?
But she didn't.
No, she was a classy girl.
And I'm sure she was
work.
upset about it. But she was like, whatever.
Well, they get 5 weeks together of pure happiness. Her and this English noble she's fallen in love with, Mr. Cavendish. Yeah, what a great name too, right? Cavendish.
Yeah, but meanwhile, the family, fucking Cavendish.
That's
fuck him. Fuck that guy. Fuck that fucking Cavendish. Fucking fairy. He's a homo.
Well, so she's got 5 weeks with him, then he goes off to war, right? It's World War II.
And he dies with Joe Jr.
Joe Jr. dies about a month later. About 4 months after that, her husband is killed via sniper fire. This is where the start of the Kennedy curse comes in. So she's wound. They give her the full title because she is legally married. So she's looked down on for her marriage by her family, but her official title was the Marchioness of Devonshire. So or Devonshire, however they want to pronounce that there. But yeah, she had found love. So technically, which is crazy too, the Kennedys will become a member of European royalty before they get a Kennedy in the White House, because this precedes JFK getting in there significantly.
Well, the Kennedys aren't. One of the Kennedys was.
Right. But the idea, you're trying to raise your family up. And
but her low-rent Massachusetts family I'm sorry. All you're showing me is that the Kennedys are even more low rent than I ever thought they were.
They're approachable in that sense, right?
Approachable.
Well, the first one that came over here was a barrel maker, and then the next one gets involved in politics.
If you listen, there's secret tapes of JFK Jr. Not JFK Jr. JFK.
Right.
And if you listen to him, they're so good. They're where he's on the phone with his brother and like he's got the Kennedy affectation at one point. You know, he's like, "Hello, oh yeah," you know, and he's with that like upper crust Kennedy accent that we know.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden something happens and he goes, "Look here, Bobby," and he gets all like, "Fuck that guy," and sounds like he's from, you know, what do you call it?
Now, is it
from
Bobby Kennedy or Bobby Kelly
Charlestown.
he's yelling at?
He sounds like he's from Charlestown. And then he snaps back in when he has to get off the phone, and then he's like, "All right, send the next guy." It's the craziest.
I'm going to look for it later on because now I'm just picturing Bobby Kelly the whole time. So it's just Paco already knows the deal here. You know what, dude? We got to stop Cuba, dude. They can't come in here. That's
What is that? What is that? Is that a sandwich?
you nationalize.
That's the only thing that makes Bobby Kelly stop what he's talking about. And then he goes, "Oh, what are you eating?" He does that all the time.
Well, that's the beautiful part of opening for you and him around the same time.
He's like
so
my
often.
favorite person. I'm opening for him in Sarasota.
Are you really? Mm-hmm. All right, that's great too because that's Bobby's like God in Florida, and I know
He's my sweetheart.
And
I
you're
love
the queen
him.
bee of Sarasota. You're the Kick Kennedy of Sarasota.
The Kick Kennedy. Ugh.
Well, she's not. It's sad, by the way, because her husband does get killed via the sniper fire. That title, when you get a title like that in Europe, it stays with you for your life. So she's now the widowed version of this, but she's going to stick around in England, keeps around in high society. It's not too long before another gentleman caller will leave his card, like you were saying before. He wants to check in on the pretty young widow from America who married into the aristocracy to a certain degree. Lord Milton is this guy's name.
Lord Milton.
She went from Cavendish to Milton. But he's a lord.
Lord Milton from the Pig Bottom Miltons.
It's
all their names are so insane, the Brits, to me.
And then it's Earl. That's the other title this guy has. He's an Earl.
He's an Earl.
That's right. If you found out your daughter was dating an Earl, you're like, all right, a trailer, West Virginia. You know, you're kind of thinking it's going to be like that. But this guy's a member of the House of Lords.
No, I wouldn't think like that.
You wouldn't think Earl?
Not unless I was some low-rent, uneducated idiot.
I'm a low-rent, uneducated idiot, Lynn. You've known me for about 10 years now. Come on. But yeah, she falls in love with another royal here. Now, it's
Now,
weird.
what's her family think of him?
Well, he is extra tricky because, yes, he's
When's
Anglican.
Kathleen coming home?
That's
She's not. She met Earl.
That's right. She found another royal person. And by the way, another Anglican too. And then even more problematic, this guy's already assumed the title of Earl. So he has his father's estate, very wealthy.
Meanwhile, Kathleen's mother is at home.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, how many times did I ask you to bring her back?
That's well, she wanted her back too. She actually is so pissed off at this next union here, if you will, that she winds up telling her, she goes, if you marry the Earl, who, by the way, is not divorced yet, in the process of getting a divorce, because the Anglican Church allows for that, because of King Henry VIII. Irish Catholics and divorce, that's a relatively new phenomenon that they even go through with it. How many times did you know that, like looking back in your childhood, it was like two Catholics, whether they be Irish or Italian, but the Catholics just wouldn't get divorced. It was a stay together for the kids thing. Miserable marriage, probably miserable lives.
Oh, yeah, I still know some.
It's there. It's a relatively new thing for them to even consider divorce. But the Anglicans are like, no, we can do this. It's part of our deal. You know, King Henry VIII, crawled so we could run. But she's going to wind up, again, also this guy survived the war. That's the other part. He was part of the British Special Forces. He was deployed with the commandos.
Was Kick mad at her parents?
They don't say so. They say she just kind of fell in with the European crowd so much.
Because for her brother to name his daughter after her,
they loved her.
You have to get the feeling that she was not a bad person. She was probably one of the better Kennedys. Like, they probably really loved her. And part of what their issue was probably like, they took one of the good ones. Send her so-and-so. Send her the one from the disappointment room.
Send him Ted. Just don't see Ted. You're allowed to drive on the wrong side of the road here. That's
Ted, we've called Hoover, and he's sending over a dress for you, and then we're going to dress you up and send you out to this Earl.
your name is Diana now. Do you understand? It's but it's crazy because this is probably a good guy, but again, she's marrying into another situation where not Catholic, European aristocracy here. Now,
And he's married.
yes,
That would be the biggest one.
they're absolutely against it. His real first name is Peter. That's his first name. And Kick, they're going to begin their romance. Yet again, her family does not approve. Rose Kennedy, her mother, she'll actually threaten. She goes, Kick, if you do this, we will disown you. You will lose the Kennedy family name, and you will be cut off financially.
Kathleen Agnes, he's married.
That's you're
He's
right. Agnes
married.
is in there too. isn't it?
Kathleen Agnes, that's her name.
Kathleen Agnes. How many times have I had to tell you? I don't care if you're a
times?
Martian or whatever the fuck you are. It's
Get back here. He's married. You're going to hell. Is that what you want?
that's well. She has an idea. She's like any girl too. She's like, if I can just get my dad alone in a room, I can cry a little bit. I can do what I have to do, and I'm going to get my way. I'll convince him that this
You're
is
going to
great...
get to him through my dead body.
That's
Kathleen.
well. The mom's not having any of it, but
That's what I'm saying. Rose Kennedy was
absolutely.
no joke.
No, she was even though she probably knew some stuff was going on here too, she ran that household. That was always picture her as Helen Mirren. I don't know why.
She had 9 children out of a JJ.
Yes,
That's an angry cat.
and when you.
She's like, I got the sloppiest vagina in the world, Agnes,
I picture,
Kathleen.
if you could let it talk, I bet you it sounds like RFK Jr. I've just been through a lot of shit.
What, her badge?
Yes, if it could talk, I bet you it sounds like RFK Jr. Well, you know, we're going to land this plane here, too. Pun somewhat intended. The Earl and Kick are going to find a way to sit down face-to-face with Joe Kennedy, who's coming to Paris for a business trip. Now, they have a house in Paris, and they're going to fly from Paris to the French Riviera. So it's a wild thing here, too, because Joe, her father, is hell-bent right now. You're in the ending, World War II is over, and every focus is on making John Fitzgerald Kennedy take up the mantle of what his brother was supposed to be, and he's going to become the president. He's sitting in on meetings that he probably shouldn't be in.
It's like what the Bushes did
Yes, without a doubt, that's where they took the playbook from.
with poor W. I don't want to be the president.
Well, you're going to be, son. 'cause
I feel like there is a lot with him of just like, I don't want to do this. You'll do it and you'll like it.
yeah, he's just kicking his baseball glove up and down the street, just all angry and stuff. I guess I have to go join Skull and Bones. I just wanted to play baseball and drink beer with my friends.
I'm always going to wear my cowboy boots. I'm not taking my cowboy boots off.
That's
Fine. Do whatever you want. Wear your cowboy boots.
You don't have to do it. We told you, Shaney will do everything for you. All right, we got a guy for you. Just
We told you don't have to. I think it was the same thing. Rose was probably mad at Kick because it was probably, you're going to get disowned. You're not coming to any more of the parties. You're not coming to football games. Yeah, you're over. Don't come back here. You're over. Stay right over there. Stay over the pond and enjoy yourself. And
Exactly
she probably
what
was
happened.
like, fine, Mom, disown me. I'm marrying an Earl. We got plenty of money.
and he has his title too. That's another important part of
And
it.
I'm sure she was like, Mom, I'm not, this is a lateral move. Like,
American royalty, whatever you're trying to be versus actual royalty.
yeah, and I don't have to share everything with my fucking 8 brothers and sisters. And I don't have to listen to Rose bitching and complaining every Sunday. I'm good.
Well,
Fine, disown me, mother.
she wants to win her dad's approval. I think that's a lot of things with a lot of.
Well, she probably just doesn't want to not see her dad or her brother and sister anymore. I mean, if
So the kids are all close. Remember, that's the big part.
that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
is they all love her and she probably loves them. So my guess is it's less about an inheritance and stuff and more about, Mom, don't disown me. I
Yes.
want, like, it's fine. Take me out of the will. Take me out of everything. But I'd still like you guys to come to my wedding. I'd like to be able to
That's the
be
hope.
close to my family and see you at Christmas. And I'm sure Rose was just going, no, it's over.
Yeah, that's her threat there. And she goes, my only play at this is if I talk to my dad when he's in Paris. So they're going to try to get on a plane and get over there to be able to talk to him, which unfortunately brings us to May 13th, 1948. Kik and her noble boyfriend are on a plane. They're heading from Paris to the French Riviera. There are plans being made to meet with her father, but the radio signal on the plane goes out. They're lost about an hour into the flight. Their plane is now unknowingly heading into the eye of a storm and will experience about 20 minutes of high turbulence, bouncing between thousands of feet of altitude. So the way that it's hitting here, they can't tell if they're going up or down. They don't know what their height is. They're in the cloud coverage here. When the clouds begin to clear, they discover that the plane has been, you nailed it. The plane's
Well, that's what happened to JFK Jr.
Which is why it's so creepy on this Kennedy family curse thing. Yep. She's in a downward spiral here. The pilot finally sees it. They try to pull it up, and the force is so violent that it actually tears a wing of the plane off. And then the engines come out with it, and then finally the tail. And they wind up just crashing into the ground, and all 4 passengers on the plane are killed instantly. So Kik Kennedy she's gone. So this was, they think she wasn't exactly on her way to meet with her father. It wasn't like he was waiting for her, but there were plans to sit down and talk and try to hash all this out because the kids all loved each other, and they understood that she had, yes, you married somebody, but he passed away, and you should really be coming back here. We've lost our own brother. Joe Jr. is gone at this point. So this Kennedy family curse thing is really coming in here. Kik's death.
At this point, it doesn't feel like a Kennedy family curse. It feels like a family that has a lot of people. And where there's a lot of people, there will be a lot of tragedy. They've also had a lot of great things happen to them.
They're fairy tale sometimes and then nightmare other times.
Yes, but the whole idea of the Kennedy family curse, if you have a large family that's crazy wealthy, you could say the same of the royals, the same of everybody. They're allowed to do things that normal people aren't allowed to do. Like fly a plane that you've been told by everyone not to fly. At a time you've been told not to fly it. Bad things are going to happen. I'm sorry, but you have a lot of money, you might get bit by a tiger. Because you might be around a tiger.
That's
and go
true
on a
too.
safari. We're not, none of us in this room are going to get, we don't have to worry about tiger bites.
That's
Because we're never going to be able to play with a baby tiger, more than likely.
It's true. I think Lewis played with a baby tiger recently, so maybe that's.
Well, he kind of is a baby tiger.
By the way, her funeral.
He also has a level of success now. That's what I'm saying is, as you rise up, you can do things that normal people aren't allowed to do, and that brings with it tragedy. Is that a curse? I don't know. I think it's just dumbasses with money.
Affluenza. Have you heard that term?
Yeah.
Yeah, they always talk about that. Rich kids always get into a little bit of trouble because they can get away with it to a degree.
Well, look at the friggin' Murdoch.
Oh, the Murtaugh murders?
Murdoch, whatever, however you say it.
Yeah, that was a bad one. It was,
but before that, his son, who kills the girl on the boat because he's drunk, didn't go to jail.
Charlie Sheen, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was always something in there, too. The Kennedy thing, you even mentioned at the beginning, you went home from school and said, Ted Kennedy killed somebody. What are we going to do about it? And they're like, there's nothing you can do. They're untouchable. So that them becoming an American institution is right around the corner. So this tragedy of Kik passing away, by the way, her father's the only one that goes to the funeral.
Oh, really?
Yeah, her father, because JFK wants to go to the funeral but says he's so devastated he can't attend. And the mother refuses to go and checks herself into the hospital instead so she could maybe save face about not attending her daughter because she was so mad at her, I guess.
Well, I'm sure Rose told other family members, you go.
You would think so. And then what I thought was interesting, too, is that the whole thing, because she's buried in England, she is buried with full honors for a marchioness or whatever it was that she had the title of. And it was the family of the Duke of Devonshire that paid for everything over there.
And that showed up.
Yeah, they showed up, and it was so Joe Jr. was
why
there.
Didn't her family ask her to be brought back here? You would think that that's what Rose would do. She'd say, fine, well, now she's ours again.
I don't have a good answer on that. That's a really great question. I don't know if the bad blood was there enough, but it was her her passing away was devastating to the Kennedys, and they don't even know yet. Because keep in mind, next week we're going to talk about the Kennedy curse. That's my topic for next week, to dive in on just the weird minutia of that one. But the Kick one was a tragedy, and she gets skipped over on everything. I didn't even know she existed before I started just kind of looking at the family tree. And if she was alive today, power player for sure.
Well, but I'm also sure that it was a disgrace that she was with a married man.
Yes.
Like that, and those are the things that at that time would have been a big deal, a very big deal, especially for a strict Catholic family.
It's any Catholic family, let alone the ones that are trying to sit there and be like, well, we're prim and proper.
Irish Catholic.
Yes.
Who, wouldn't even accept if the priest was molesting kids. Like, Father Conroy would never do that.
Another relatively new endeavor on that one. I'll tell you what. So we landed the plane. Sorry, pun unintended, but it is on that one. We got to get you out of here because you have a spot.
Yeah, poor Kick.
She was a winner. If she was alive today, I do believe that there'd be some political impact.
Here's the biggest thing. The reason we know she wasn't a loser, Kick wasn't, was because her family wouldn't have fought so hard for her if she was a loser.
And they wouldn't be returning. They wouldn't continue her legacy via namesakes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, don't you have people in your family that suck? And you never in a million years think, oh, yeah, let's name the kid after that. Like, no.
Yeah, we politely just kind of, you're like, hey, so yeah, good to see you. Good to see you. How are you, buddy? Anyway, but.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Well, so you got the social media thing going. Do you want to plug any of that? Because the listeners do like to follow. Well,
I'm about to be in Sarasota at McCurdy's Comedy Club.
If you're down there, go check her out, too.
Please.
You got Side Splitters coming up, too, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
go see her. Not till February.
Bunch of Tampa listeners, too, down there. Tampa's always very good to me. One other reason that I'm in good with Side Splitters is because of you. I had you and Bobby vouch for me down there, so that was
and
as
my
good as gold.
My thing is funny Lynne to the real Lynne Koplitz.
Absolutely. And I'm going to I'll tag that in the description for this one, too, if you guys are looking for. So, again, one of my favorite comics on planet Earth. Paco, thank you so much for everything you do, buddy. Dom, good on you, buddy. All right. You guys are the absolute shit here. I love getting to do the show here. I love getting to hang out with my friends. Thank you to my guest, Lynne Koplitz. We're going to get her off to her show at the Fat Black Pussycat, folks.
Thank you, KP. You know I love you.
I love you back, lady. But that was Kick Kennedy, American Loser.
On the edge they take the throne, built on bones of those unknown. Not in first, never last, still erased from the past.